The Town Council Work Session, August 19, 2026. Can I get a roll call?
Holloway present.
Grossman present.
Buckles present. We have a quorum. So, items for discussion. An update from Virginia American Water.
Very good.
Yep, it's all you.
Alrighty. So we're here to talk about Mason. First thing I wanted to do was introduce George. George is our new supervisor for wastewater and collections there. So he's been there for about 6 months, 5 months? 5 months now. He was there for everything at Mason. It's a good experience for him to get
Baptism.
Just say,
trial by fire kind of thing.
welcome.
Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about some of the past issues, what happened the 3rd and the 4th, and what we have in place to try to mitigate some of that. As everybody knows, Mason is the main lift station for the town. Everything comes from Washington, Pine, and Plum, from Old Town, excuse me. Everything from Washington, Pine, and Plum comes down into Mason. Everything on Mason Avenue is fed in through a gravity feed through there. We actually don't even have a good estimate on how much flow comes through there. That's something I'm working on right now, and that's not in here. I have a contractor coming tomorrow to take some measurements, but we're going to try to put a flow meter in there so we can get a better feel for what's actually coming out of Mason. As you know, when we purchased the system, the day that we purchased the system, the lift station failed. We went on to a bypass system and have been on a bypass system since then. There's been a long history of failures, sewer overflows. During the CPS study, they went in, did evaluation of the lift station itself, the electrical, the mechanical, the pumping, everything about the station. So they've got
CPS, I'm sorry.
the CPS study that we presented a couple weeks back.
Remind me what's it stand for?
It's capital planning study.
Okay.
And
Just so that
they had
I was
actually,
listening.
if you looked in the capital planning study, I think it said the finish date was 2028 for Mason, but we've moved that up. So the finish date, I believe now it's March of 27. So right now we're in phase 1, we're wrapping phase 1. It should be done end of this month, early September. Once that's done, we'll move in 2 new bypass pumps connected to the permanent bypass system. So there'll be a primary and a secondary pump there. Right now, the way it's set up, it's a primary pumping system with a secondary that can be hooked up. Once that's in place, there'll be a secondary already connected. So if the primary fails, the secondary picks up. We don't actually have to go down there and fiddle
So
with
when
it.
you say a bypass, that's gonna be in there
Permanently,
permanent?
forever. So,
Whatever you have there permanently is.
yep, it's going there forever.
Whatever.
So if we ever have another issue with the wet well and we've got to shut the wet well down, we can isolate it completely and run directly off the bypass system. What we actually found when we got here was there was no way to isolate the wet well at Mason. So one of the first things that I had done was there was a 16-inch valve installed between the communator and the wet well itself, and then a 8-inch insertion valve installed at the exit or the discharge side of the wet well, which isolated the wet well fully. So now we were able to work on it, but we've got other issues that I'll talk about. In here, some of the things we put were replacing the pumps will not fix the situation. That's not like the fix for this. We've got failed pump seat, failed muffin monster. The wet well needs to be relined, so we've got water intrusion on the wet well. Concrete failure inside the wet well, and multiple electrical failures through the whole station. So it's pretty much a whole new station is what's needed. So that's where we're kind of the direction we're going. It might not be a brand new building, but it's going to be all new internals completely, and then the wet well will get redone, and obviously the fence looks like.
Was there a fair amount of infiltration there?
The whole town, as far as infiltration goes, yeah. But the wet well, when I say there is infiltration, I had it pumped down and cleaned, and within 3 days there was probably 10 feet of water in it. So I mean, you dig there 2 feet down in the ground, you have water. I mean, there's an incredible amount of water. I've never seen that in my life. I mean, I've also worked inland for my whole life, so.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think any of our council members have been down to the wet well.
Okay.
So, would you describe to them the fact that there are pumps down there?
Yeah.
Would you kind of,
So there's submersible lift pumps at the bottom of the wet well. There's 3. The way it was set up before is there's 2 4s and a 6. You back up is your 6. The 2 4s alternate, and then when you have like a lot of flow, that 6-inch would pick up and carry all that flow out of there. But the pump seat itself is what those pumps sit in on that concrete at the bottom, and those seats have failed. They've all come loose from the bottom of the wet well, so anytime there's a pump sitting on it, the torque from the pump starting up actually shifts the pump, and that's what was happening when at the bottom of the well was breaking loose the piping, and that's why it was never really.
How big is the
Function.
well? How big is the well?
That's a good question. I've never got a good measurement on it, and there's no good drawings on it, so I'm not sure.
One
mean-
from Muffin Monster.
Muffin Monster's a rag removal pump. It just chews up rags. And the Muffin Monster that's down there in the communator right now has failed, so
Right.
we're having a hard time with rag removal too. We're seeing a ton of rags at the plant because of that. It does kind of run, but it's never been serviced, so it doesn't do very well, and it smokes, so I just have it off right now. I don't want it to catch on fire.
Sorry, when you say that you're going to completely replace this whole system, when are you talking about doing it?
March 27th is supposed to be the end date for this, finish date. It's supposed to be.
When to start?
We haven't set a start date. We've got to get RFP out, but they're working on that right now. So
How long will this take?
it should take years. It should be 28, should be, but we're going to have to fast track everything to get it done, so
By March?
by March.
So what would be years long is gonna be
We're going to try to shorten it up
4
in
months?
6 months, March of 27. So you're looking at probably maybe another month or 2 with the engineers putting everything. We have the drawings done. That was the big thing. It was like they were working on the drawings the last year and trying to put everything together. We've got like, I think it states it in here, it's like 95% or 99%. We're sitting right at done. We've got some environmental stuff that we've got to do. Once that's finished up, drawings will be put in my hands. Engineering group will go in to do the RFP, get bidders in. Once that's cleared and we can go, we're going to tell them it's a go, like right off the start. So it's got to be done by March 27, and hopefully weather permitting, that is the case. That's what we ran into last year, was all the weather.
What will the area look like? What can we expect?
It'll be a construction site all of winter, so
And street closures construction or?
probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. I think there'll be, we have to do one street closure to do the intakes on the combinator, but that's I think then that'll be like a 24-hour deal.
And what about,
And what part of the street, like the whole?
It'd just
street
be
or
that one section down there,
right?
yeah, and I think the way we talked about it, we can do one lane, so the way it's set up, but the problem is the manhole that we have to pump out of is on the opposite side of the street, so that kind of makes it a little wonky. We'll have to work with VDOT on that one.
what other types of disruptions could we
Just be loud.
allow?
Yeah.
What about,
There might be some nighttime stuff. We might be working at night occasionally. So, recently we had one over the summer. We were at night, and July 3rd and 4th, so.
okay.
And who's providing the equipment? Is it the contractor through the RFP, or do you provide in there the labor? Or?
So we'll have a list of equipment that we want, and that'll go through the contractor. They'll purchase everything for us, yeah.
So you'll have the existing bypass to a certain degree still in place
Yes.
while they're replacing
Yes.
around it and then juggling?
Yep, and really, the original plan for the bypass was moving the lines to be able to even get cranes and excavators to the wet well, because the way it's set up now and how you have to do it now is there's tons of piping in the way, and the bypass pumps are completely in the way of even being able to work. So I had drawn it on a notepad and sent it to our engineering department. I was like, how should I do this? This is what I need. And then they gave me plans, and it turned into just moving pumps to creating a permanent bypass to actually set 2 pumps. It's a big thing in Virginia Beach. If you go ride to any of the lift stations in Virginia Beach, every one of them have a diesel bypass pump sitting outside the station. And what that is just a diesel pump for backup. If you have a complete failure of the station, you've got a diesel bypass sitting on a pedestal outside that's going to immediately fire up and pump everything out, so you don't ever have a backup in that case. And that's what the goal is here, so.
So you'll
So
have,
have a diesel backup?
It's gonna, there's gonna be electric and a diesel. So the primary is gonna be electric, the secondary is gonna be diesel,
Sitting outside of the pump house?
sitting outside
That would only kick on if needed?
if needed, if there was a failure. If the station completely, that's complete failure, because, and I haven't really even gotten through this, but the plan is for the second phase of this is 3 pumps. So we're going from the 2 4s and the 1 6 to 3 6s. There'll be 3 6s, we're gonna redo all the piping coming out. It'll be a lead lag and then a backup in the well itself. So if all 3 of your pumps fail and you have a complete loss of, the station itself, you have a backup sitting there waiting to run. So,
But what was there before? Was it gas or, didn't we have one there before?
Diesel
LP or
pump.
gas? Generator.
There's an emergency generator for every pump station now.
Yeah.
Matt's talking about something
yeah,
different.
the bypass pumps and
No,
stuff.
but I get that. I mean, those things were just as loud when they kicked on.
Oh, yeah. And that old
And
Onan's
they
still
only,
in
they
there.
kicked on. I've
You
been
got,
here
you got a couple of
one or two
You
times.
got an emergency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just
only 1 or 2 times.
yeah, and that's what I was.
And the
just
new
getting
diesel, so, I don't know if anybody's had any complaints or heard about the one sitting over on Pine Street. We replaced that generator last year, and that was replaced with a silenced diesel, which there was a silenced Cummins there at the time, which catastrophically failed, like the first couple weeks we were here, and, I replaced it, and, that one's like incredibly quiet. You'd be very surprised at how quiet it
And
is.
is that what you're using to replace it in the
Yeah,
diesel
yep,
station?
yep,
That's great.
yep.
And what about aesthetically from,
We're getting there. I've got some drawings that I turned over. I've been working with local landscaper trying to figure out what we're gonna do. But we're gonna put up some bushes and stuff, and there was actually conversation, I don't know if anybody would, like, this would be something y'all be interested in, putting up like concrete walls. I know that, or brick walls, and then allowing like murals, something like that, just to kind of encapsulate the place. It would cut down on noise, and, I mean, obviously, it's a lift station, so nobody wants to look at it. Me and one of the PMs for Virginia were talking about that. We just haven't really dug into it, so I'm more focused on trying to get it straight first.
sure, that's secondary,
Yeah.
obviously, but,
Co-
okay.
Coastal makes them.
Yeah, I want it to run. I want it to run good. I don't want to be running down there on July 4th, so, yeah. But yeah, I'll get back into this. Make sure I've hit everything here. So I touched on the current setup. All right, so prior to the events at July 4th, this will be the July 3rd event summary. We obviously expected the highest flows of the year. Everybody knows that. Everybody's here for July 4th. We had brought in 3 pumps. We had a mechanical failure of the electrical pump a few weeks before that, and I replaced it with a brand new pump. Had a mechanical seal fail on it. We actually went in and hooked up all new intakes and discharge lines, so there was secondary lines already set up, ready to go. And then the 2 additional pumps, because we've been running on the single electric for a long time. We brought in the 2 additional diesel pumps in case of failure of the electric pump that was brand new. And what happened was, so this is the failure point. Electric bypass pump failed due to an overload switch. It had been running all day, which the overload switch just failed. I mean, it got hot and failed. It just ran all day. So that was there. That wasn't a big deal. Switched to the diesel bypass. Diesel bypass wasn't keeping up. We didn't know why. We couldn't figure it out. We were running around chasing our tail kind of thing for hours, going to the plant, going back to there, trying to figure out how much flow we were getting, what the pump was doing. I called out Xylem. I called out United Rentals, both the companies that were there for the rental pumps that were there. They came and tested all the pumps. They worked on the electric pump, got that straight, tested that one, had good pressure. Diesel pump had good pressure. They kind of threw their hands up and went, "You have another problem somewhere else." And this was probably 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It's blurry. That day was crazy, but I think we ended up in the street around 6 or 7 o'clock, something like that. Because it was a little bit before that when we we're like, okay, we have another mechanical failure somewhere else. So then we started chasing that failure. At that time, one of the diesel pumps, the second diesel pump failed. The pump failed on it. We had to go and switch to another pump. We were in the street at that point, and I called it. We were in the street. We had 2 pump trucks there. We were pumping out of the street. We started disassembling check valves and air valves, trying to figure out what the problem was. One of the check valves had failed. So we went in, gutted the check valve, hooked everything back up, and fired the pumps, and they took off. And that was then from there forward until almost 4 o'clock in the morning, getting the street emptied out, thousands of gallons of sewage. Luckily, not in the bay, and thankful that y'all had the, y'all's people there with the loader and everything. There's no way I was going to go grab our loader and do that. There was just too much going on. So thankful that y'all had them. They blocked the street, so it worked out. The sand berm, so yeah, he had that in here. So recovery efforts, new rental pump was connected. We had external support. We had our Prince William district here. They brought down a vacuum truck, which I think around 4 a.m. blew up. Vacuum pump blew up on it. So then we had to go back to Prince William, pick up another vacuum truck and bring that down. So it was
Prince
another.
William, like as in Northern Virginia, Prince William?
Yeah, yep. So another 6-hour round trip, bring that truck down and got that truck here. We had, I think, 4 or 5 laborers from from Underground Connections here. And then our electrical and controls guys were here from Process Integrations. They had 2 guys down, help monitor the pumps themselves, make sure we didn't have another issue with that electric pump, because that is hands down the best pump that there is, and it's not loud, and obviously it doesn't cause too many problems, but when you have a bad overload switch, it does. They went and checked all the electrical connections back into the station, checked all the disconnects, make sure everything was good, but obviously check valve was disassembled and clean. We notified you all, the Department of Environmental Quality, somebody else contacted Northampton County, you did, and then I spoke with them, they had called me. So then VDH, and I believe that was all the entities that we had reached out
So
to.
just to stop on that, so from a communications point of view, do you feel there was adequate communication, notifications through this, and then for our town to notify our residents?
Well,
Could anything be improved?
yeah, so one thing that we found, some areas where we improved was in our Nexel system, to have backup signatures and authorizations so that when one of us was not getting the message, now we have a backup so that we have 3 people that can do the Nexel. And so, yeah, that's been fixed.
And that also brought discussion up with us too. Our system does not reach out to an area. It reaches out to the customers. So if the customer has their phone number or email address in our system, it reaches out to them. But this is a vacation town. So you've got thousands of other people that their numbers aren't on there, so nobody even knows what's going on. And
I'd also add, Nexel is, that app that we use is actually kind of changing, and so it's been upgraded, and so it's a lot easier where we can actually get on it from an app now and not have to go back to our main computers in the office.
Oh, that's good.
So it's, yeah, well, that's
A little easier.
that's where we've improved, so we got more people to do it, and then now it's a different system that we can actually do it on site.
And then our chain of command, did it work effectively? You were not notified, you notified the mayor? Is that how that went?
Well, I notified the county first.
Count,
And
yes.
then we began to make sure that all the, important people that was on the list were notified, then the mayor was called.
What about visitors? I know that there's not only that we're collecting that information, but do we maybe want to explore getting property managers or rental managers as part of this communication system so that homeowners are notified and can share that with the renters?
To sign up for Nixle.
At least the Nixon part, that they can reach out to their own
Sure,
people that are renting that week or whatever.
unless they're going through a management company and they don't know who's in their home.
There's challenges on that, because
Yeah.
not everyone is
Say
gonna
that
get
again,
notified.
there's what?
I said, there's gonna be challenges with that, because
Sure.
there's only so many rental companies. I know there's some major ones, but even then, we have we have 330 short-term rentals, and they're not all gonna be notified, because they're not on all the same systems. But we can do a better job at
But if
notifying.
we're collecting that data through our STR program, is there a way that we could send it out?
That's what I was
To
thinking.
the STR, to those that are listed as business licenses?
So,
I believe we can.
I mean, it would be duplicating some, the
Yeah.
owner piece, but,
Yeah.
but why not?
yeah, or even the 24/7 contact person.
Sure.
Right.
Should be notified too.
Yeah, they should all be on this,
Yeah.
and I don't know if there's a checklist that we automatically sign them up when we put them in, or have them sign up, however that must happen, we need to.
Cannot sign people up for
Okay.
emergencies.
So then, in our system of them registering every year, we need a checkpoint that they initial, I've signed up for emergency whatever, and
Or
then
does the STR,
Communication.
does the STR program offer a communication module that would allow you to send a broadcast email or
Emails,
text?
yes.
Email.
Yes, a person would have to create that message and then push the button and it would go out to whoever.
That's a mass email. As a
Yeah,
mass email, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, part of normal emergency management systems, there is a person who should be in charge of communications.
For sure.
And it shouldn't be Rick, because he has too many other important things to do. But there needs to be someone within the town system who is responsible for that, and that person should have that.
just like, you know, Jeb is our designated person, emergency management person, but we need a communications person as well, on top of that.
With backup.
With backup.
I mean, we just can't over communicate it when
Yeah.
it's something like this on one of our busiest
Yeah.
times of year.
People still didn't understand, even to the 4th. I mean, I had to go park the backhoe up at the front of the caution tape to keep people out, because people were trying to walk through, and we're in there with a vacuum truck and,
Right.
you know, cruising there trying to do cleanup, and people are just walking into the work zone, so,
For Snicker bars.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous.
They were looking for the silent disco while they were.
Yeah. Oh, the silent disco was
They were
going on.
walking into a puddle of sewage and it's like, can you just go around?
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was surreal, man.
Yeah.
We're out there doing that, and then you got silent disco going on right in front of us.
And you're like, is this a real?
Yeah, that was really weird. The fireworks were even weirder.
Yeah.
Because I was still down there, sitting there watching them, and I'm like, my lord. I was like, just keep running, please. Touch on cleanup activities, Kenton Industrial Services, Atlantic Environmental, and then Virginia American Prince William District were all down to do cleanup with us. We ended up having to utilize one vacuum truck for pressure washing and one for the vacuum services, because we did blow up one of the vacuum trucks the night before. So just catastrophic failure of the vacuum system on it. That was our older truck too. The new truck came down and finished everything up, but which was our old truck here, was the new truck, which is way too big for this town, that I can't even get it down Monroe, so I turned it over to the Prince William District, and we're supposed to be buying a much smaller unit next year. So early 27, we'll be looking at purchasing one. Roadways were cleaned with water. We sprayed it down, pushed it to the end, vacuumed it up, and then we went back and limed everything. That was all through the entire day of July 4th. That's how I spent my July 4th. It's fun. So the plan in place, I had already talked about it, phase 1. That's going to be the install of a permanent piping for bypass of the station, one electric pump, one diesel pump. It's probably a little better than 50% completed now. We've got all the pipe work in the ground. We've got to do tie-ins and an intake, and that's it. Kind of been stretched thin, so contractors are stretched thin. We're stretched thin. We're getting to it when we can. Hoping to be done mid-September. Right now, everything's going well. So we also had some issues with some orders through one of our vendors that we had to take care of. Ended up being on back order for like 2 months, some of the parts, but we got those here now, and we're going to keep moving on it. So phase two is the completion of the pump station rehabilitation. This is going to be managed by our engineering department. Obviously, inspectors and myself and George and everybody will be down there to watch everything kind of go down and make sure everything's being done properly. But it will be managed by our engineering department. Pump station engineering design is right around 95% complete right now. We're waiting on some of the environmental studies to wrap up. Once they're done, they'll turn over 100% drawings for us, and then we'll be able to do the RFP. And the RFP itself is being developed right now. I actually had some questions this morning that I had to answer for it, so they're getting it together. What that's going to include is the relining of the wet well, some concrete work at the bottom of the base of the wet well, a new rail system, pump seats, new pumps, new piping, new isolation valves, new check valves, new electrical equipment, a new generator, and a new control system. Once that's all done, should be a pretty well-functioning lift station. It's still going to be the same old mushroom-style building that's sitting out there. We're going to utilize the building that's there. We might try to pretty it up. It needs a roof, needs a few things, but other than that, it's still going to sit the same way it does, and that was why I even mentioned the mural and putting up some type of wall of some sort. But we can discuss that later. I just want the station to run right now.
You can get rid of a lot of that sand that's down there.
Yeah, that was another idea, putting up the concrete wall, because last year we had it was like between 2 and 3 feet of sand that ended up in the lift station. I mean, we couldn't even, the landscapers couldn't even drive the mowers in, and I think we hauled 22 dump trailer loads of sand out of there. And this year wasn't as bad. We didn't have as much wind, but I mean, it's still,
Just look at the fence line.
yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's all the way up the fence. Yeah, it's crazy. But we're actually I've been working local landscaper on that. We're going to jump on that. We're going to cut down that hill some and try to pretty that up a little bit, because it's just a big berm right now. We're going to try to level it off. But
So how would you characterize the condition of this and what needs to be versus the other pump stations?
the Mason's in the worst shape, hands down. All the other ones run great. I mean, we've done a few things.
Okay.
What's that?
You saying they're okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do fine. They have good controls, good alarms. All the small stations seem to do well, and I know Washington looks pretty rough, which that's 27 budget too. Is go in and actually revamp that whole station, make it pretty. But I mean, overall, pumping wise, all the stations do really well. We don't have too many problems with them, and we went through and we've Pine Plum, Washington. Washington got all new controls last year. Since then, it's been doing great. Pine and Plum have both mechanically been gone through both years. This year, I think it was new impellers and new check valves, and then, but overall, running condition of both of them.
Bob, Fig and Washington were those were the newest pump stations, weren't they? Washington? Yeah, Washington.
Washington's the oldest.
Is it the oldest?
Yeah, there's very little flow to this.
Yeah, very little, yeah.
But, I mean, they're struggling with a system that shouldn't have been designed the way the system was designed.
It's an interesting design.
No one in their right mind would design a system like this.
It's tons of additions. There's lots of just add-ons.
Single point of failure, 30 feet from the bay, everything flows down there. It should be designed completely differently. But we have to keep in perspective, until 1973 around, we were pumping unprocessed sewage into the harbor. Okay?
Yep.
So, I understand the oysters were very good. Very big at that time. So, that's what we inherited.
Yep.
That's what we got.
Same here. That's what we inherited.
The last major work that was done on that pump station was done in 2009.
11. 11 was
11,
as built, yeah. Yep,
The line was going.
it's all good.
About 2011, it was completely relined. I think 1 or 2 new pumps, the rails were rebuilt,
Yep.
the rails were gone. The discharge manifold was rebuilt and everything, but there was no work done on controls.
Yep. Yep, those are the original MCCs in there, original controls. All of it actually still works for the most part, but at a safety aspect, it's pretty rough. So we replace it.
As a part of our beachfront design, if we're going to put a restroom at Jefferson.
Mhm.
Will the pump station at Washington, I assume it would
Yeah.
run to Washington?
Yep, wraps around.
That would be able to handle that the way
Oh, yeah.
you're working on it now?
Yep. Yeah, so the way Mason's being designed now, since we're going from the 2 4s and the 6, later on, it should be able to handle much more flows anyway. So obviously, we have a bunch of I&I problems. That was kind of the theory behind it. If we can't get a handle on I&I, we need to be able to control it at Mason. So, we're working on I&I now. We're halfway through that study. We're pulling, actually, I think they pulled meters today. I had a call at like noon today. They were pulling meters out, so that means we're going to get all our flow data back from the last 4 months, and that'll tell us a lot. But what's that? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be able to handle a lot more, and the idea is we can handle the I&I now until we get a grasp on that, replacing some mains, finding all the point source, all the sources for the I&I, and then later on down the road, it's also got a little more capacity, I guess. You could say it doesn't really have more capacity, it can pump better. So you can, in theory, offset your capacity. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be able to handle it, so.
You open up to some other questions?
Yeah.
Check well connections. Where do we stand on that?
So they started on electrical a few weeks ago. I can't remember the exact date. I think they're going to be wrapping that up towards the end of September, and I believe they're going to start pulling pipe in September is what I was told. Now, I don't know if that's 100%, that's through our engineering department, but I have a meeting for it once a month, and then obviously I talk to the contractors.
Any idea how long, if you were to start in September, how long,
It should be done by next summer.
like through the summer?
Yep.
And that pipe that's been sitting there for 2 years?
Yeah, for forever.
That's all right.
That's it.
It's okay?
Yeah, it's HDPE. They say it's lasts a lifetime.
Okay?
Yep.
Sitting out in the sun?
Yep.
Okay.
Another item had was communication on weekends. So we had a business owner have water leak up out of his meter on a Saturday. And it was like, who do I call?
Customer
When you
service
go-
line.
When you go into the system, it's like, oh, it's not Monday through Friday.
Yeah, we're good for 24/7. If you can call the customer service line anytime, after hours, anytime, 24/7. They'll send somebody out. We have somebody on call all the time.
This is your central dispatcher,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yep.
And you're saying there, because it's very clear that we're only from Monday through
Yeah, the website says
Friday,
Monday
and,
through
yeah,
Friday.
it's very clear on the website.
There
that-
should be a 24/7 call on there too. Should be. If there's
Okay,
not, then I mean, I
I'll
can give
go
it.
back and look, but the person didn't know who to call, and just so happens to know somebody associated with the plant from
Yeah.
before, called them, and they came out and dealt with it, but the guy had to go and call a friend that worked at.
Yeah, no, there is a 24/7 number that you can call, and I mean, we have somebody on call every weekend. George is actually the supervisor on call right now, so he's the one that picks up the phone for the dispatchers. So.
Can we put a link to that on our website as well? That, if there's some sort of water problem,
Yeah,
people might.
it seems
look
like
at our
that's
website.
been picking up to the towns that call, or calls to the town, because I've been getting a lot of calls from the town recently with people saying they have problems. Like I got one today, and I think Connie had called me and said that there was a sewer backup on Tazewell. So I mean, it's just kind of weird that started.
It
unless
says
they-
on their website, report emergency, and when you click that, it has the 800 number, or you can fill it out, either way.
Yeah, the filling out doesn't help.
No, I know,
It's
but
the
right there it
800
says
number.
the 800
Okay.
number, and it doesn't say anything about Monday through Friday,
Okay,
so,
all right.
I see it too.
yeah, so we're good.
So I had an emergency at my home a few weeks back, and it was 6 in the morning, and I called the 800 number, and there's a way to get into an emergency person, a live person. And then I was hoping that you would tell town council about the
The galvanized pipe?
opportunity that you presented.
So
to me.
I scour the Cape Charles Sheridan chat all the time for bad talk about us, just so I can laugh.
I felt stalked.
Yeah.
Bless your
Well,
heart. You
I haven't,
you need to
she
get,
commented on there and said that, that she had a galvanized line, and I was like, why hasn't this been reported? And then, so I called her and I was like, hey, look, there's a program right now that we're running through a grant program, and, we can have your line replaced. So we have to use one of our contractors, but, we can do it, and, I'm trying to get pricing on that, but again, we're shorthanded. He's told me he was gonna have it to me today, and he still hasn't got it to me today, so.
Well, I'm just pleased
Yeah.
that there's a program like that for people like me and
For
everybody
sure,
else.
for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Is there a way to put something out to tell people, here's how
We
you
put out
check?
we put a publication out like a year ago for this, and then we did our study where we had people go around and actually check meter box. We had a group come in and check all the meter boxes in all of Old Town, because we knew obviously Big Creek
Yeah.
and stuff, it's all new, so it's not gonna be galvanized. But we went through all of Old Town, checked everything. Problem is, there's been so many repairs over the years. Everything stubbed out of the meter boxes is 90% PVC.
yeah, you don't know what's
So,
beyond
yeah,
that,
you don't know
right?
what's beyond that. And
Yeah.
if it's beyond that galvanized, we can still replace it. And we just have to know. And I mean, it's all over town though, like that. I mean, a lot of people don't know because it's buried. So until you know, if you have a problem like she did and have to do a repair and you see that it's galvanized, they need to call in and let us know so we can come replace it.
Then you call that same 800.
Yep. They can call the same 800 number.
All right, I had one other item. Wastewater discharge reuse. That subject has been on 15 years worth of discussion. We've had discussions with Virginia American Water. You said you were studying it a year or so
That's-
ago. Where does that stand?
So that's not something I can really answer or touch on. That's with the engineering department. That's something they would tackle. As operations superintendent, I can't
But
really.
are you reaching a discharge limit? Because you have a certain limit as
No,
to what you
we've
can put
been,
out there.
everything's been golden the past 2 years, so, I mean, as far as nutrients go, we're right on the money, so.
Well, it's the quantity that's going out that you have a certain
So you
limit.
can put out as much as you want, as long as your nutrients and everything stay in line, and right now, we're in line,
Okay, I
so.
thought there was a cap of 250,000
So
a
the
day.
plant capacity, so how much the plant is handling.
Right.
So once you break your capacity in the plant, you have to come up with a design within like a year. And right now, we're on the money every summer, but outside of that, you're not. So
Gotcha.
the average per year really doesn't get you there. Now, there have been discussions about expanding the plant, and I've been in several discussions about that. So, I mean, it is at some point gonna happen,
Okay, so it's still in engineering as
Oh,
a
yeah,
subject.
for sure,
For
yeah.
reuse.
for sure,
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
absolutely.
I have a question about, is it a treatment facility in Bay Creek on the way to Aaron Point on the right-hand side?
New quarter?
No, not in.
Pump station.
The pump station
Pump
itself?
station,
Yep,
sorry, I used the wrong word.
yep.
What are your plans around that? We've seen pieces of equipment out and.
So we went through, replaced all the valves in the entire station. All the valves had failed. None of them would close. Check valves weren't working. So we replaced all the check valves, all the gate valves. Went through, bought a new pump, put a new pump in, rebuilt a pump in there. We did, obviously, the lighting in there. The whole station was trashed, and we redid all the lighting in it. And, I mean, we've been going through all the stations trying to bring them back up to speed, and, I mean, there's still a lot to do, but overall, I mean, that place is probably gonna stay about the same as it is, other than maybe some minor stuff, but now, where we're at right now, we're in pretty good shape with it.
It has a pretty bad odor.
Does it really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, the mulch beds. So we had, so, yeah, Fig and New Quarter both have mulch beds. So the exhaust systems for the mulch beds have failed. They're completely collapsed, and we've got to dig up the whole backsides of them. I'm glad you said that, because I forgot about those. But no, we're going to redo those.
This is in Heron Point.
Yes. Oh, at Heron Point,
Yes.
the one down by the golf course.
Yeah, that one.
Or by the,
That doesn't have a mulch bed.
no, that does not. That does not have an exhaust bed. And that actually sits on a very small lot, so it would never have one. It would have to have like some type of carbon system. The only thing I could say is I have not received any complaints about it, maybe one. Yeah, well, this is the first time I've gotten a complaint about it. That does have a direct exhaust out of the building.
Careful what you wish for, because I think you will have some complaints, knowing now that
Yeah.
if this is the first you've heard about
Yeah.
it, which is surprising, because it, you would.
The complaints I've gotten down there were lighting issues. I've gotten some complaints about our valves and stuff sitting outside, which I wasn't aware of, and we actually cleaned that up last week. But other than that, I haven't really had anything like that.
I would encourage you to take a quick drive-by, because.
Oh, I go down there all the time. I mean, I hadn't been there in a while since the valve project, but
This has been more than just recent.
Okay.
It's definitely been over 2 years, I would say, even 5 years.
yeah.
I would definitely encourage you to go take, you can't miss it, even with your windows.
I don't know. I'm tainted to it. Like I've been around it so much, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, we're definitely the wrong ones to ask it. It doesn't bother us.
It's pretty bad, and I know that there's a home built right next to it.
Getting built
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, I saw it the other day.
Yeah, it's, I think, almost.
Directly behind it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And you can smell it out on the golf course, you can smell it on the street, you can turn the corner, and
That-
you can smell it.
It'll be an interesting one to try to clean that up because that's a carbon system because there's no other way to do it really.
But is there something that can be?
Oh yeah, you can do a carbon system.
You can fix this?
Oh yeah, you can put a carbon exhaust system on it and mitigate the smell.
That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
You will have some phone calls, I'm sure, or emails, I'm sorry, but I just wanna make sure you know that it's
Yeah.
not just me saying this.
Yeah.
That it is, I will
For sure.
galvanize the troops
Yep.
Yeah,
to
that came up
reach out.
at the meeting last
Yes,
night.
yes,
Yep.
absolutely,
They agreed.
Yep.
okay.
So that got brought up in Bay Creek last night. I'd like to be able to get into some of those meetings and sit and listen without the shirt on. So
Reach out,
yeah,
that would be great.
for sure.
But you have to wear the shirt.
Keep a low profile.
With a collar.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions?
No, we appreciate you taking all this stuff off our hands.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, this is what we would have faced.
Yeah,
as a town.
it's a lot. So,
Yes.
but yeah, we're getting there, and hopefully we don't have the summer we had this summer, so things are getting better.
Thanks for the good work.
Yep. Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion?
Make a motion that we adjourn?
All in favor?
Aye.